Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Danny's passing around a QR code. For those of you sitting close by one, you can share it with your neighbors. Welcome, and we're so excited to have you here. Thank you for being here, regardless of the weather. I'm not sure what it's doing. Thank you, Michigan, right? Welcome to Michigan. It's sun, and then it's, and then there's dark clouds. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful for you all to be here today, and welcome to the Battle Creek Community Foundation. We really thank you for joining us in this conversation. So whether you're a nonprofit partner, a donor, a business leader, or someone that's been a longtime friend of the foundation, or someone that's just curious about what we're up to at BCCF, we're so grateful to have you here. Today is really important because it represents more than the launch of a strategic plan or a refresh of the mission. It's really a next chapter for the Battle Creek Community Foundation, a renewed commitment to our community and an open invitation that to build stronger relationships with all of you and the whole community. We hope to deepen trust in our community and create more dialogue and more opportunities for dialogue. So this is really an invite to shape the future of our community together with you, with BCCF. That's why we called the event the Bridge and Build event, because we believe communities are built through strong and authentic connection. People continuing to show up for one another over time. So I think I know everyone in the room, but what I'm going to say is my name is Mary Mullett. I'm the president and CEO for the Battle Creek Community Foundation. And that was a little sneak peek of what tonight will be. We're really letting you behind the curtain on our process to get to the strategic plan that's sitting with you on the table or on your chair. And tonight is about getting excited to share our refreshed mission statement, our new vision statement, our new values, and our strategic direction for the years ahead. So before I talk about where we're going, I want to spend a moment reflecting on where we've been. It's a season of transition for BCCF. And around 2 years ago, I began with the organization. There's new leadership and a new chapter for us thus. And as with any long-standing organization, leadership transitions create an opportunity to pause, listen, and consider how the organization continues to evolve to meet the community's needs today and long into the future. One of our first priorities in this season of change was to listen. I know many of you because we've met, right? We had many one-on-ones out in the community, and I was listening, and our team was listening. So we listened to each of you. We listened to the people who have worked alongside the foundation for many, many years, to our nonprofit partners, our donors, and the community educators, civic leaders, our residents, to board members, and to our team. We really listened over the last few years. And we listened to those folks that maybe hope to become connected to the Community Foundation. We really heard those voices as well. And what we learned was super valuable. People are seeking a community foundation that feels connected, that feels collaborative, transparent, and accessible. Folks wanted stronger communication from us, greater partnership, and more clarity around our decision-making. Many people expressed a desire for ongoing dialogue and even stronger relationship building. So those conversations became foundational to the strategic plan that's in front of you tonight. Because this plan wasn't created behind closed doors, it was really shaped by community voice. And it was shaped by a shared desire to position BCCF firmly for the future. So I believe that it's one of the opportunities that comes with new leadership is to not forget the past, because this foundation has a remarkable history of generosity and impact in our community. Instead, leadership transitions create an opportunity to really ask some questions and listen. How do we honor the legacy while positioning for the future? How do we strengthen trust? How do we better communicate our role? And how do we become even more responsive to community needs and to the opportunities in our community? That is the spirit of reflection that was woven through this entire strategic plan. You will hear it in our emphasis on listening and learning. You'll see it in the focus on transparency and accessibility. And you'll experience it in our commitment to partnership and lifting community voice. Our vision is simple. We envision a thriving community where everyone belongs. And when our team first talked about this vision statement, there was no debate. It was really, it hit and landed and resonated immediately. You know, we could wordsmith all day for the mission statement and the values. This vision statement, it's solid. This team came right around it, and it came from the community because we all believe that belonging matters. And belonging to us means every person in this community has value, voice, and opportunity. So that vision statement is supported by our refreshed mission statement. The new mission statement for the Battle Creek Community Foundation is connecting people, ideas, and resources to expand opportunity and to create lasting community benefit for today and tomorrow. That really speaks to what we do here every single day. So that mission captures our unique role, our role as a community foundation for this community. And honestly, one reason we wanted to host the Bridge and Build this evening and last week is because many people still are not entirely sure what a community foundation actually does. Right? And that's understandable. It's unique and it's complex. So community foundations are all unique, and the joke in this sector is if you've met a community foundation, you've met one community foundation, because every community foundation responds to their own community, their place-based work. And our community foundation, our work shows up in many places and spaces across our community. So I'm going to try to explain it simply, and I'll say this community foundation, a community foundation, helps a community invest in itself. So I'll say it again. A community foundation helps the community invest in itself permanently. For your children's children, we invest in the community. And as your foundation, BCCF, we are charged with considering today's needs and building resources for your children's children. That's the commitment we have for you. So when we say for good, forever, for all, that's what we mean. So BCCF connects generosity to community need. That might be another short way to say it. We're thinking about where the community need is, and we have so many amazing stakeholders and donors that want to make sure your children's children have the same experience or supported experience going forward. So every day, we do this work by stewarding charitable resources for long-term impact and supporting donors in achieving those philanthropic goals. With this work, each day we invest in our nonprofits and local initiatives. We manage and we grow scholarships for students, and we support local projects and events through fiscal sponsorship. We also work to convene partners, especially in new initiatives for the community. So this, I hope, is how you see us showing up today. We are here to help build our community and respond to the opportunities and the challenges. We are a steward of resources locally so that those resources continue serving our community for all the generations to come. So that's a little bit about a community foundation model, right? So in many ways, a community foundation is both a steward and a connector. And one of the most important themes in our strategic plan tonight is clarifying that role for the community, stepping squarely into that role. As we listened throughout the process of our strategic planning, we did focus groups, we had interviews one-on-one. As we listened, we heard a consistent question, and that question was, what is the role of the community foundation? So over and over, what does the community foundation do? What is the role? And so we sometimes convene, we definitely invest, and we sometimes launch initiatives, right, for our community. Sometimes we step in to steward an important community asset when there's no clear organizational home. And there's seasons where exactly that is the right thing to do, and there's seasons where that changes. And so, however strong stewardship is it requires us to periodically ask some different questions. And we started to ask those questions in this strategic plan. Are we still the best organization to carry this particular work forward? Whatever, fill in the work. Are we still the best organization? And then the question that sits at the heart of one of the important priorities in our strategic plan is that question that challenges BCCF to focus on the work that only a community foundation can do. Many of you have heard me talk about doubling down on our core commitments of who we are as a community foundation. So we want to do that while empowering strong partners to lead where they have a greater mission focus and long-term alignment. So that's been a question we've been asking ourselves for 2 years, and you asked us as community to ask that question. So in thinking through the commitment of being focused on our core commitments as a community foundation, we want to be clear, we aren't saying we're doing less, we're doing what we're uniquely built to do in our community. And so I have 2 examples of what I'm talking about. So Mary, you're saying a lot of words. What do you really mean, right? So I have 2 examples for you. And I think many of you have probably heard that the first example is around the Cool Community Family Center. So that transition is happening right now. If you haven't heard, I'm going to share it with you. But many of you have heard about the change of hands. Oops, I'm stepping on the tape. The change of hands with the Cool Community Center. So many, many years ago, 18, there you are, you moved. I was like, where's Maya? 18 years ago, the Battle Creek Community Foundation stepped in and supported Burnham Brook, took over ownership and management to preserve an important asset for this community. We proudly cared for and invested in what is now the Cool Family Community Center. So today that community center is thriving. It's really thriving thanks to an amazing team. The participation is growing at Cool. Folks are feeling welcomed in the center. Programming is truly vibrant, and community engagement is very strong. And because it's strong, we had an opportunity to have a conversation to make a thoughtful transition in a position of strength for that center with a nonprofit in town. And so after careful consideration, a lot of discussion, BCCF has transitioned the ownership of the Cool Family Community Center to Senior Care Partners PACE, who's a long-standing organization in our community focused on seniors. And so folks might ask us why. And I hope that some of that discussion about who should we be and what should we be doing versus what should we be bolstering others helps. But I would also say a simple response is Senior Care Partners PACE is uniquely positioned to sustain and grow this type of service for long term. Their role is to provide community and senior services. You might hear me talking a lot about roles these days. I think they're very important in lifting community. So the programs we started will continue at Cool. Senior Care Partners PACE will steward them. Memberships remain in place for community, so it's a seamless transition. I'm looking at Maya because you might know Maya is our administrator at Cool today, and she's moving over to BCCF through this transition, but she's stewarding right now this transition for the Cool Community Family Center. I think we could give her a hand. Because she is doing something that is one of the hardest things a leader does, right? She's passing the torch, but it's at a time of strength, and I want to hold that up. So back to programs continue, the memberships remain in place, and community assets and room rentals all remain going forward. And so we're really excited about the steady handoff of this center for the community. It is a tremendous asset right down the road that we want to see thrive long past our time at the Community Foundation on this earth. So it's not BCCF stepping away, right? Some people might question that. It's not. This is in BCCF ensuring the work continues under an organization specifically designed to operate and strengthen this type of service for generations to come. So we really, really believe that, and we're excited to see the next chapter for Cool. It's also an example of how the Battle Creek Community Foundation is squarely stepping into the role as your community foundation, allowing our partners to serve in their role and, as service providers. The second example that I want to share with you tonight, I don't need to go to the right because there's just a pole there. You sure you don't want to sit by the pole so you can, like, Jill was sharing a funny story with me earlier, so it's an inside joke. The second example involves students. So remember, I'm sharing examples here of how we're continuing to position ourselves as a community foundation and allowing others to thrive in their roles. So this example is specifically legacy scholars related. For many years, this one you may not have heard yet because we're really doing a lot in partnership without needing to kind of take that outward. But for many years, BCCF has played an important leadership role in post-secondary attainment efforts related to the Legacy Scholars programming. We remain deeply committed to helping students succeed and hold, as a community foundation, we hold hundreds and hundreds of scholarship funds for our community and our students. However, as we listen to the legacy students, the Legacy Scholar students, and to the families who are benefiting from this particular scholarship fund, we heard something really, really important. We heard students often found themselves navigating multiple organizations to receive that legacy support, right? So a student had to go to someone here at BCCF, then they had to go to KCC, then they might have to bounce back to us, then back to KCC. So they were navigating two systems for one scholarship. So when we looked at that experience through a student-first lens, we saw an opportunity, one, to partner and move programming to the direct student contact they desired, to simplify that process for each student, and that is Kellogg Community College. They work with legacy scholars every day. That's the college where students receive this particular scholarship and this support, and they are the experts in advising, in packaging scholarship funding, and enrollment and student experience. They are the experts in degree and certification completion. So they're uniquely positioned in their role to provide direct student support in a seamless and coordinated way with the Legacy Scholars programming and with the fund. So all that to say, we are working towards transitioning the Legacy Scholars program to KCC directly. KCC can be the one point of contact for those legacy students. So a student doesn't have to bounce between BCCF, KCC, BCCF, KCC. They're just working with their direct contact at Kellogg Community College. So we're leveraging the experts in this example and supporting the students' desire to have a one-stop shop experience with this amazing scholarship program. It's absolutely not because BCCF is focusing less on students. I think it's quite the opposite, in fact. It's that we're suggesting this transition is happening because we care so deeply about student success. And we want students receiving legacy support to have a seamless and supported experience and bring this program to KCC so that they can work with that student directly and seamlessly forward to their completion of their degree or certificate, etc. So we will continue stewarding scholarships. Like we hold the most scholarships for our community. We'll continue stewarding those scholarship resources, of course. We'll continue investing in educational opportunity, and we love this work for students, of course, across the community. We will indeed continue convening educational partners, and we will continue helping to align systems and resources around secondary student access for the community. That will always be the commitment of the Battle Creek Community Foundation, today and for generations to come. We will, however, always and forevermore, consider carefully who should be doing the work, who should be leading the work, and who should be bolstering and supporting the work. Continuing to assess our position as a supporter and funder for those doing amazing work across our community. So, this is a demonstration of partnership and trust in our partners. Couple examples, and they're very recent. We believe that we don't need to do all things. We have great partners in this community to carry efforts and programming forward. We're here to support and to bolster those partners' efforts, not to do the things they're built to do. And that is what it means to place ourselves squarely into the role of a community foundation, as an investor in community capacity and community impact. Those are not easy transitions though, right? Like, those are not easy decisions, they're not easy transitions, but they're the right decisions to make. My mom always said, the easy decision or the convenient decision isn't typically the right decision, right? And so here we're making some harder decisions, but I believe, and the team is really behind these decisions, we are aligned to say these are the right decisions. And they are for and they are with our community, and that's our commitment. That's also the commitment, or that's also what we heard from community, is to really assess this piece of what we do. What should we be doing versus helping others to do? And so we listened. So we're really committed to listening to the community and improving and adjusting as we steward the resources entrusted to us and for many days to come. Okay, I've said a lot of words. I know, right? I talk a lot. With that, I'm going to pause because today is not about just presenting to all of you. That would be just like, okay, Mary, wah, 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 wah. Today is about interacting. And while our community, while our community shaped the strategic plan that's in front of you, you get to have some input. You may have been in some of those focus groups and phone calls, but you get to shape some input for us and our team today as well. We are looking at gathering from you some input around the values that we've adopted. So let me find my place. Lost my place, Maya, because okay, here we go. I know, you're like, I don't know where you're at in that book, Mary, up there. So we have 5 values that we've adopted, right? And we want your input on how we might show up and what you might see from us if we're living into those values fully. And those values are in your booklets, but they are integrity, stewardship, equity, together, and listening and learning. So if we're living those 5 values every day for this community, we're going to engage you in a dialogue about how that looks to you. So up on the screen, there is a QR code. There's also a QR code around the room on these little table tents. Does anybody not have one? You can use Menti with the QR code. You can also simply let me know you want to share something and I'll come to you and give you the mic. I love to talk, right? So welcome to engage that way. You can also just write down a response if you don't want to say it out loud or share it on Menti. So what we want to do is really gather from you. If we show up and we're demonstrating integrity, what does that look like? What do you think of that you see? If you see a Battle Creek Community Foundation team member out in community, how would we be demonstrating integrity? Or if you hear of an initiative we're involved in or something we're doing, how do you know we're doing that with integrity? And so we're going to do this for each value. It speeds up as we go. We've done this, once before. It takes a minute to get our heads around it. It'll speed up. But I'd love to hear from you. You can, again, enter it in Menti. It'll go up on the screen. I'm going to try to capture those as they come rolling in. Talk around the room, and I'm coming to you, and you can share what you would want to via the microphone. And Danny's got some cards and pens, and also a microphone. So I'm going to lose my voice. So I'm going to pause here and say, let's go first with how can BCCF demonstrate integrity? What does that look like? And if you have something to share, you're welcome to raise your hand and I'll come to you. Oh, here we go. All right, so Menti, and I know you cannot see in the back and I apologize for that, but I'm gonna try to read most of these. Also, we had a great suggestion in the last Bridge and Build. We're going to compile all of this information without any identifying information and share it back with all of you as in transparency of what the community's sharing with us. So, all right, how does BCCF demonstrate integrity? We've got a couple people saying transparency. So simply and complex, being transparent. I love that. Following through on promises and commitments by upholding the mission when no one else is around. I love that. Or representing the mission at events. Be direct and honest. Always speak plainly. Try to minimize politics. How does BCCF demonstrate integrity? Hiring from within the community, experts and consultants, etc. Do not overpromise. I love that, right? I'll share a little tidbit on that one. So I used to work with youth, right? And I always said, I'm never going to make a promise to a child that I can't keep. I'm never going to make a promise I can't keep in general. I think that, I love that, do not overpromise. So we'll level set as we go, right? What's possible, what's not. By continuing to keep the community informed of our plans and the whys behind some of the challenges, some of the changes being made. Good, I hope today helped with a couple changes that are happening. By sharing regular communications about what BCCF is involved in, whether in partnership or alone. And then really simply, do what you say and what you're going to do. Do what you say you're going to do. Openness, clarity, transparent, follow through. I've got being consistent, always act with focus on community. I love these so much. Thank you for your input. Anybody have something that they're burning to share out loud? Cherish your staff. All right. Who on the BCCF team entered that one? I'm just kidding. Cherish your team. Cherish them. I do cherish them. We all cherish each other. Thank you, BCCF team. Keeping folks informed, people informed, and always sharing the why. Super. All right. I'm going to move on to the next value unless there's any pressing additions in the room. Okay? Stewardship is the next value, right? So what does excellent stewardship look like? What does that look like to the community? Somebody's on, okay, accountability is the first one up there. Excellent stewardship. If we were being excellent stewards, what would that look like? Somebody's having fun in the back of the room. What do we got back there? Come on, like I can tell. What's the conversation?
My phone is dead, so
come on. We can talk instead. Shoot.
Got one over here.
Do you want to share something?
responsible budgeting, low administration fees, and
Low administration fees and responsible budgeting. Thank you so much. And I do think that's one of the, this community's kind of observed. We've been doing some right sizing in the last couple of years. So it's, you know, these aren't the easy decisions, but I agree, that's great stewardship, right? Less on ourselves, more out to community. Thank you for that one. All right, up on the screen, proactive communication, operating efficiently. So again, less overhead, right? Operate efficiently. Active involvement in initiatives. Always honor donor intent. Donor wishes, absolutely, literally, legally our requirement to honor donor intent. Oh, I missed one at the top. Can you, one more? Making sure resources are used in keeping with mission and values. Okay, thanks. Say no when you need to. You cannot be all things to all people. Love that. Weren't we just talking about work-life balance and boundaries, Al? I think so, yeah. Transparent reporting, not becoming overextended in committing funds, especially for multi-year projects. Super advice, thank you for that. It's really important. We have to think thoughtfully about different or larger projects that we get into, which Elizabeth, we've been talking about for the last 2 years, right? How we really look at an outside bigger project and determine that it's important for us to come alongside or not. Helping boards run efficiently and responsibly. So helping the nonprofits run their boards, is that what I don't know if whoever put that in there, I think I'm reading it as helping others with their governance models. Am I hearing that accurately, hopefully? Letting donors and advocates lead. Fair access for all, clear guidance and straightforward process, super. Know where the gaps are and work to fill them. I'm going to add to that one. Know where the gaps are and work to fill them, and know who the partners are that might be able to fill the gaps too, right? Partners make the world go round. And I hope that you hear it today, but really there's a commitment of all that we're navigating for nonprofits, that together is really the path forward that we keep talking about at the foundation. So know where your partners are to help with those gaps too. That's really important. Review the budget often for proper use and decrease wasted services, absolutely. Communicate authentically to all and demonstrate gratitude. Invest wisely in growth. Look at all areas internally to guarantee success outwardly. And last but not least, differentiate what is good for the populace and what is good, only good for the elite few. Absolutely. Really committed to for good forever and for all. And that all, for the for all in that tagline is very specific to the Battle Creek Community Foundation, and we really mean it. Super. Anybody have anything else either pop up there or say out loud about stewardship? Good. I'm gonna keep moving.
Mary, there was one last one.
Oh, thank you.
Share outcomes and impact of your work.
Share outcomes and impact of your work. Thanks, Elizabeth. Super. Oh, and there's another one. Seek diverse voices. Did I see that one already? Seek diverse voices. I love that. Love that so much. All right. So equity is our next value, and I'm going to pause here for a minute and say, it really matters. Everybody defines equity a little different. And so I want to steer you to page number 1 in your booklet where it's mission, one-handed doesn't work, mission, vision, values, and equity is there with the definition that we've adopted for equity for the foundation. So our definition of living in this value is that we invest in our community to expand opportunity and well-being for all by addressing systemic barriers, increasing access, and supporting solutions which are informed by community input. So thinking about being a funder, I think a lot about access. I think a lot about, someone had in the last, actually, I should have thought ahead, in the last Menti reply, right, not just for the elite. We really want to break that silo down more and more and create access. And so we talk a lot about that, and we talk about coming to the table to help reduce systemic barriers for individuals. So that's what we mean by equity, and I'm open to dialogue about that. And I'm also open to your input on how do we demonstrate equitable process, work, systems in our day-to-day for you as the community. So when we say we're champions for equity, how can you know we mean this? All right, the first one up there is include all voices. Yes. Making sure we get to all voices, all people, that's really also on my mind. So we can say we're including all voices. We can also invite all, but sometimes it takes an extra step, right, to go to and meet and build a relationship before some folks are going to feel comfortable, like this event, coming to this event. So really trying to build those relationships so more and more folks are more comfortable when they get the invite to show up with us. All right, here's one. Continuing to strengthen your relationships with not just the community members, but the nonprofits, small businesses, etc. You never know whom you could partner with to make even more impact. Absolutely. Champions for Equity, we would demonstrate that by helping to design accessible, inclusive spaces, starting with youth opportunity. I love that. Who knows about our youth, our YAC, our youth, say what the acronym stands for, Youth Alliance. Youth Alliance Committee, who is a group of youth students from across the community, from multiple districts. They come together and they're learning some leadership skills and also learning a lot about philanthropy. Jennifer in the back there is the leader of our grants program, and grants sort of facilitates that work around the YAC. Yackers is what we say, and they make some great decisions about philanthropic dollars. So, and we want to continue to elevate youth. Thank you for that. Now I've lost because I got thinking about our yackers who are awesome. Keep supporting quality education for all, check. Communication with all participants, acknowledging all cultures for comfort and all persons. Truly and intentionally, oh, thank you, Angela. I'm just catching on to what you're doing. Angela's trying to point me in the direction, and I just realized it. So thank you for that. Appreciate you. So where were we? Where was the little cursor? Truly and intentionally focus on and learn about systemic barriers. Yes, there's a lot of deep work to be done, right? Whoever put that in there. Keep supporting quality education for all. Yep. Representation for everyone. Invest more in different people with different perspectives. Go out and meet people, recruit people from different areas to visit BC or Battle Creek if that group is not well represented. Okay? Working in community with partners who are working to positively impact systemic barriers, absolutely. And develop sustainable projects that are designed for and by those that struggle the most. Lift the quiet voices by giving you Menti to type into, I'm just saying. Reintroduce the Battle Creek Community Foundation to the community by going into spaces normally BCCF has not been present in. I love that, and I'd love to know who wrote, don't have to do it today, who wrote it and what spaces you're suggesting. We need to know that, we need to understand that. So I think everyone in this community has my cell phone, but if you don't, I have it on me and I'll give you my card. I'd love to know what spaces you feel like we need to make sure we're putting effort into. Diversity in our team that represents the diversity of Battle Creek community, absolutely, and we talk a lot about that. Our intention is to build a team, build a board, build volunteer committees that represent the diversity that is Battle Creek as well. And so comments look like they're slowing down. Anyone in the room want to say more? All right, next value, Al smiles. Next value, Al? Let's go, right? All right. So when the Battle Creek Community Foundation says we hope to partner together with you, how do you know we are moving in that manner, in that partnership? And together is the language we used for our value, because we felt like partnership, collaboration, it was all overdone. We wanted to say together as our value, which really is in that same vein, but isn't just that collaboration value that everybody's sort of tagged into. So how do you know we're living into our value of together? I really, you could share. You did a great job sharing. Hey, your phone is dead. Do you want to share again?
Well, I've noticed is that you actually do connect people together.
You want to say again? Go ahead.
You actually do connect people together. You share your resources with the agencies, and I think that's great. That's what we all need.
Super. So making sure resources get to multiple agencies would be one way to demonstrate it, right, and continue to demonstrate it. Thank you for that input. Truly, no one else is going to talk with me. I talk about this, Lynn, right? I'm Italian. I like to talk. Everybody's on the phone typing in Dementi right now. I love that too. And what else do we have up there? We are asked for, okay, here we go. I can't read from the back of the room either. Whew, old eyes. We are asked, period. So I'm just trying to interpret this one. We are asked, our input is received and considered in developing program and solution. So making sure we're asking and then we're considering that input when we develop, I'm going to say, strategic solutions. Responding to and helping promote the organization. The organization we are supporting, I'm imagining that one means. I hope, I think. Acknowledging what partners are expressing, super. Bringing together partners with shared interests, I love that. In fact, one example of what we've done over the last couple years, we used to have, it was called the org breakfast, we've turned it into kind of a mini conference. We call it our nonprofit convening now. So we're bringing together nonprofit leaders and board members around different topics. So it leans into that one a little bit, and I hope you see the plan or the desire over time is to see more of that type of work from us, where we're really, again, in that space of bolstering the nonprofits and lifting them in their work. All right, thank you, Angela, because I did lose my space until I saw your cursor. Well done. Continue making the meaningful connections and being available through thought partners. Super. Like I said, I like to talk and I like to think, so a lot of people do lean in for the thought partnership that our team brings. Clear and timely communications. Asking or inviting the community to do big, impactful things together to solve big problems. Super, love it. Yeah. Making it clear that partners have responsibilities too, and that the work is not simple, or wait, I'm gonna read this wrong. The work is not simply going to fall to and be done by BCCF. Yes, right? Level setting, that we all have to pitch in. And BCCF is really about empowering, not rescuing. I want to just like sum that one up, and that's really our commitment too. Lead us in lead us in deciding what our vision is for ourselves, our city. So helping to facilitate a conversation about what is the vision, right, for the community. That's how I read that one. Let me know if I got it wrong. Anybody in the room want to add verbally? Truly can come to you. You're like, nope, Menti's good. Anybody having trouble? Everybody's got Menti pulled up if you want to give input, right? We're doing that. Teresa, you're smiling.
I'm good.
You're good. All right. Getting it done. Okay. I think then this is our last value, right? So listening and learning. So how do we best listen and learn from you, from the community? How do we best do that as the Battle Creek Community Foundation? Well, so like anybody in the room, just show of hands. Like I hope today you're seeing us trying to listen and learn from you in this event. So show of hands, does this feel like maybe we're trying to engage you in listening and learning? Yeah, super, thank you. And so, so that would be like one way we are demonstrating and trying to make sure we're building into every presentation or interaction. Super, so be available for ad hoc and casual communication. Absolutely. By continuing to change as an organization, as our community's needs and wants change. See you later. Have a good evening. Through community forums, really hearing the strengths and challenges with our area nonprofits. Yes, and it's a lot to hold. Our nonprofits are, it's a very different time today, isn't it? Any last inputs there? Yay. Bill, I love that you're going to talk into the mic. Thank you.
I just thought I'd add some color to that one about the casual and ad hoc conversation.
Yeah.
That was mine.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
So earlier this summer, Mary's out calls me a lot.
Just a little bit.
Earlier this summer, Mary caught me while I was up on a ladder cleaning my gutters. So we had a 20-minute conversation about something. I don't remember what it was, but it worked out great. And I thank you for that.
Ad hoc, anytime, on ladders, off ladders. I have a funny story to go with it. I wanted to tell you this by phone that day, but you were on a ladder, so I was letting you go. As soon as I realized this, I was like, okay, Bill, you've got to go. I once had a job offer come to me while I was on top of a hay wagon with someone throwing hay bales down to me to stack on the hay wagon. I was on the phone accepting a job. So the ladder experience for me made me laugh that much harder because so anyway, silly stories. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Bill, for sharing that one. I love that. Be visible in community at events where community members you serve are in attendance. Use the same language of the community that you want to reach. So know your audience, right? Know who you're sitting with or talking to. I love that. Know that lots of people don't fit in the listening and learning system. Go outside the communication box through art, performance, going into neighborhoods through NPCs. Help me with that acronym, someone. Thank you. Oh, it was just not registering up here while I was reading it off. Neighborhood planning councils, etc. And continue providing. I know the macaroons are so good. Should we let people in on the, because that says up there, continue providing yummy macaroons. Danny, should we let people in on the secret of where they came from? Because it's like not.
If you want to.
So I'm coming to you. You're going to share where that, oh, you got your own mic. There you go.
It's not really a secret, but they're from Sam's Club, believe it or not. And they're pretty good quality for being Sam's Club. So
Yes.
there's some left and mini cheesecake, so grab some on your way out.
Yeah. So you too can buy the yummy macaroons and share them at your events. So there you go. Sam's Club it is. All right. Well, the comments up here have slowed down. So any final thoughts on how we demonstrate listening and learning? Super. So like I forecasted before we started, we're going to compile this information. And I don't exactly know how we're going to disseminate it out yet, but we're going to work on that. So on the fly, ad hoc, Bill, at the last event, someone suggested, you know what, it'd be great to summarize all of this and then share it back. And we thought, that's brilliant, and we're in. So we're going to work on that and pull that together. And definitely you will get, as an attendee, because if you hadn't checked in when you came in, make sure we mark off that you're here so that, again, that circles back for sure to you, but we're going to share that openly because we really appreciate the input. It's kind of deepening the next layer of where we're going with our strategic plan and living into our values. So let me catch my place. I really do love that what I heard or saw up here, it really aligns with much of what we heard on the front end of our strategic plan. So thank you for your input, and thank you for the validation that we're headed in the right direction for the community. Because we are for and with each of you every day, and that the insight from tonight, the insight we gathered from last week, and the insight that went into our plan, it's just invaluable. So we truly, truly thank you for that gift. All right, so I've talked a lot. And I really appreciate your time and don't want to use my time up here. So again, I really thank you for the honesty. I thank you for your ideas and your willingness to engage with us. It keeps going in and out, doesn't it? Yeah. Your willingness to engage. And what you shared really reinforces for us our strategic plan. So we are here to steward the resources for the Community Foundation responsibly and with integrity. And we're really here to expand opportunity for future generations, for our children's children. I hope that sticks with you. That is a commitment of a Community Foundation. And if there's ever been a time to think about future, I really do believe right now with the environment we're in, we need to still think about endowing dollars for future generations and future nonprofits that will continue to have cuts and struggles. So we need to do a both-and approach when we think about giving at this point in history. So one thing I hope you take away from today is that this strategic plan is not a finish line for us. It's a starting point. We're launching into the work, in fact, tomorrow in senior leadership team to really build it out from what you see today. The real work is beginning now. The work of living into these values, as we talked about tonight, the work of showing up consistently for community, and the work of demonstrating that we're here to listen and partner, as well as to help create a thriving community where everyone belongs, to live into our vision. So I would love for you to give yourselves a hand and of applause tonight for your contribution to our plan, and we appreciate you much. So we will shift here in a minute to more questions and more dialogue. I hope. I love talking to everybody. But I would be remiss to not acknowledge the amazing Battle Creek Community Foundation team members who are here with us tonight. It's not our whole team, but the folks in the room are some of the rock stars on their team, and then we have other rock stars that couldn't be with us. Can everybody from the Battle Creek Community Foundation please stand up, raise your hand? If you don't know someone that's standing up and raising their hand, please introduce yourself. That's part of us building trust, is to build that relationship. So if you don't know someone on this team that's here with us today, I'd love you to just share your name with them before you leave. And our board of trustees is just an amazing governing body who's been supportive since I stepped in the role, and through all of the movements and transitions we've talked about tonight. The board has really taken it in stride and really supported. So if and I know I have a few folks in the room who are on some governance or on board committees, as well as volunteers. If you're a volunteer for the Battle Creek Community Foundation or on a committee of the board, please stand up. Or have been a trustee for the board, please stand up so that we can also acknowledge you. Oh, I know you're in the room, yes. Thank you. Thank you for your service to the foundation. I'm trying to wrap it up quick, so give me a minute to find the right place in my notes. So this team has really worked through a significant season of transition and change. They've worked through it with resilience, professionalism, and deep commitment to our community. I couldn't be more proud of our team, about the intentionality and the integrity that they all bring to this work. And I'm not going to tear up, but I would love you to give them one more round of applause, the Battle Creek Community Foundation team. So as we come to the close of my remarks, I swear I'm almost done. I would ask each of you tonight to introduce yourself to someone new before you leave today, right? Together as a community, that's how we're gonna move through and really thrive here in Battle Creek. So let's bridge some new connections and build some relationships. We would love, as the Battle Creek Community Foundation, to continue these conversations, and we hope to connect with you today and in the days to come. As we look ahead, I remain incredibly inspired by this community. Not because the work is easy, instead, it's the people in this room and in our community who are amazing. Our community is amazing. This community is filled with resilience, generosity, creativity, compassion, and opportunity. I believe the future of Battle Creek will not be built by any one organization. It never has been. It will be built by all of us, and that's all of us together. So, BCCF is with our community and for our community together, and that's the path in front of us. I ask you to join me in being resolute to come together for the future of our community. And I thank you, and I appreciate your time and listening. Thanks so much. And now you get to ask more questions or have any moments that you'd like to have more dialogue. I'm sorry that this keeps cutting out. Yes, Walter. You can. There you go.
Not that my voice is really soft or anything like that, but if we could just give Mary a great big round of applause. Yeah. She's going to get me, I know. But I believe that the mission that we have is so great and so valuable. And she's kind of helped us build these bridges. She came in as a bridge builder. She comes in and she's showing us what it means to unite people together, to get the resources together. And I just wanted to say that. And I want to put her on the spot. What? And she's going to get me. I'm telling you, I might not have a job. But the vision statement, the very first part of it, I love it so much. I love it so much. And I don't have my reading glasses.
The very first part of it. Let me see.
And I just wanted to say that one more time for the cameras and for all of us to take home with us.
Mm-hmm. I'm coming back here to give Walter a big hug. I appreciate you, Walter.
Bless you.
You're so sweet. So the first part of our mission statement, is that what you wanted to say? The connecting people, ideas, and resources to expand opportunity. That resonates deeply for you.
That resonates
Right
very
on.
deeply. Thank you so much, Mary.
Super. All right, who else has I mean, nobody can top Walter. Thank you, Walter. But who has a comment, a question, maybe thought you'd hear something tonight that you haven't heard and so you're wondering about? It's all fair on the table. We're here for it. So if you've got a question or comment, I'm coming to you, or Danny's coming to you. Anybody? Yes. Danny's got right behind you.
I wished I had those questions beforehand so I could have been a little bit more prepared to answer succinctly.
I love that so much, because what you're speaking into, so you wish you had the questions ahead so you could have been more prepared. And what that speaks to actually is us creating more inclusive spaces, meaning you like to think through it before you're responding and not react, where me on the flip side, give me a question, I got 5 answers in 2 seconds, right? So we're different, but that's okay. We're not. Okay, you can do that too. Okay, all right. So, but those questions were really thoughtful ones, right? So I love that. Apologies for tonight, and great feedback for future, right? That we can try to get out questions that we think we want to ask community as we go. Yes, Elizabeth.
I think that when we send the follow-up of both events and the comments, we could put a link in it for a quick survey so anybody who's had additional thoughts can roll back to us. And also, because Access Vision is taping it today, I was thinking, obviously that will be posted through our social media posts, that we may also work in how to let people also provide this kind of feedback virtually if they just kind of watch this. So I think we're gonna try a couple different things, right? Because I think all of us, it's hard to think on the spot sometimes when we're moving fast.
Super. Love that, right? And good idea. Thank you for that, Elizabeth. So great feedback. And that's what helps us get better for you all, is to hear, you know what, it would have been better to have those ahead of time. Quick behind the curtain, we literally came up with those right before the first event. So always be prepared too. Yeah. Yes.
So this is super inspiring and exciting and an opportunity for the community. I hope that throughout all of this, there's some kind of communication plan, because we won't really know if we're hitting all of those questions, goals, and unless it's communicated out to the community.
So can I sum it up by saying, so what happens next, right? How do you demonstrate BCCF? I love that. And honestly, the last Bridge and Build event last week, and it's just being reinforced for me tonight, after we walked out of that event, we thought, we want to keep doing this. Do we have capacity to convene folks more frequently and maybe lead through what we're working on in each of our strategic priorities? So that's on our minds. Again, not promising what we can't deliver. I'm not promising it yet, but we're thinking through, and we're thinking through how we communicate and make sure folks know where we're at in our strategic process and attaining those goals that we've set for ourselves. Does that make that helpful? Super. Yes?
I'm not sure it's even relevant. My voice carries.
Yes, but that's okay. There you go.
How many community members are here?
Well,
Or even in the first session?
So Danny, we had 60 some RSVPs for tonight. Not everybody came, and I think probably the weather held off some folks, or, you want to answer a little bit?
Oh, no, Mary's right. We had about 65 RSVPs for tonight, and I think I counted 25 here. And at our last one, we had 75 RSVP and had almost 70 people come to that one.
So what about just community members that are not associated with a nonprofit or an organization, just are living community? community member.
Yeah. So we did post on our social media, trying to get it to any, like this was an open event, not just those folks that are in our system to pull. But what I would say is, as we continue to try to convene folks, invite your friends, right? Invite folks that live in community with you. To your point, you don't have to be a nonprofit to be in this room. In fact, we want the whole community to know what we're working on. So absolutely, the invite is open. The best we can try to do is word of mouth and get it through social media. I think there was a press, we did a mailing, email mailing. We've been talking about it. So I'm sure we haven't gotten to everyone. And that's part of what we're trying to sort out is how do we, it's that access, right? How do we make sure everyone hears? I think that is a community conversation actually, because we have so much going on at all times in this community. I will be very transparent and vulnerable to say I'm standing up here and I've lived here for 28 years, didn't realize how many events are constantly happening in Battle Creek and the surrounding area until I was in this role. So, and that shouldn't be. Everyone in our community should know what's happening because we have amazing events, amazing things happening pretty well every weekend, if not 2 in a weekend in the summer for sure in Battle Creek. So I love it, and I'm still thinking on it. If you have ideas, please call me, right? We're trying to get better at that. Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nico.
Yes.
To introduce you guys. I'm his sister's son. But one of the biggest things that you just talked about was like trying to reach everybody. And I think, I mean, this is just like my point of view.
Yeah.
But everything seems to be online nowadays.
Yeah.
So if you guys like, I mean, I see like, for example, Victory Life Church, they have an application. It's like, what if I don't know if anybody has the power to do that, but like, if Battle Creek just had an app, there's just like Battle Creek, and then like, it was just like everybody downloaded it, or like it just had an app where it was just like, okay, there's meetings for this, there's like this going on, there's this event, there's no school this day, I don't know. Something just kind of along the lines of that, where like everything would be just communicated with that, because I don't know. I mean, yeah, not everybody has Facebook, and there's like the events tab on Facebook, but not everybody has Facebook. Not everybody wants to be on social media, so it's like, how do you reach those people who aren't on all those groups? And it's like making an app or something like that.
Really, go ahead, Walter.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
I really think that he hit on something because, oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Nico. I really think that's a great idea. Not all of us are Facebook people or Instagram people, but everybody has a phone that they can download the app for. And we can have our events, our talks or whatever events right on that app. You're hired.
Walter just hired you, Nico. Welcome to the team. No, I love the idea. So let us noodle on that. Also, if you have more ideas around that, your dad has my cell phone number. He can give it to you. We could chat, okay? There is something that's really been puzzling me about how to best communicate across the community and make sure we're reaching all folks for all things. It's on my mind. What? Yeah.
Airplanes, banners.
Airplanes and banners, Jill says. Also, donations to afford the airplanes and banners would be welcome. Jill, just saying.
Well, while we're on that topic, I want to highlight or lift up something that was said on the screen is to go where the people are as well, go into the neighborhoods and that. I think that's really, really important, or at least have a representative there as well. Spreading the word, seeking the feedback, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
It's something that we're finding in all industries, especially in education.
So are we asking BCCF to become the media center of Battle Creek?
Well, I think, Al, you go to the neighborhoods for the access point. You know, see, I can project too. Go to the neighborhoods. That was like an access point, but then we've got Nico's idea about the app. Yeah, kind of leaning into like being a hub around that. Kathy's interested because of her communications background. And you're, Walter, you want to hire somebody else today too? Kathy's hired. Welcome to the team. Okay. How are you? Yes, go for it.
Yeah, we talk about our children's children.
Yes.
But we need to engage the children, and how do you engage? So Nico has a point with that, because the younger folks would definitely be more apt to use that. However, creating an opportunity for youth to gather so that you can pick their brains of what they want, because they're our future, the one that we're striving to meet their future needs. So I don't know if it's an old-fashioned statement or not, but not necessarily a dance, but some sort of event that would be interesting for youth to attend. And I don't believe in rewards, like, oh, if you come, you get this kind of a thing, but just so that there's a community event. Because one of my personal struggles after living here for 28 years is we have 4 school districts, more charters, and, we're one community, but we're divided within our own little beavers and panthers and bearcats and Spartans and the others. So intentionally creating maybe an event and finding out what those, the Nico and younger groups would like. And YAC, I don't think is enough.
It's just it's a pebble in the pond, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And those are the engaged students that are active in other things. We have to find, how do we reach those that would not be present? And also those that would not come here. And so going to those NPCs, which my NPC 11 is a very active one, going into those spaces that people are not going to come here.
Yeah, understood. I love that. We will think on how to actualize. Or the other thing is, where are my partners? Who is having events? So what came to mind while you were speaking is Washington Heights has the carnival. That's one place where we're already convening families, and it's and we, many of us sponsor that event so that it can be free. Is there something we could partner around with partners that are already doing that to collect information or maybe even gather youth?
Yeah. One of the core components of Washington Heights event is they actually do a community survey there. And so we've talked to them about being able to work with them on getting that aggregate data to better inform us. And then actually our Youth Alliance Council also just did a survey of youth. They spent like a year developing a survey, and it was pretty robust.
You can talk
And
about
there was
that. I think this
also-
is an important one.
There was also a lot of survey fatigue in the schools, so we went through the school districts because the kids are either taking surveys or taking tests. So we were not maybe as successful as we were hoping in getting feedback. So our team just had a meeting today about this is the time to connect with all of our youth serving organizations, because they've got the kids right now. It's summer. They're doing organized programming and trying to work through our community partners to get that youth voice. And then trying to figure out how can we do this better if we can't maximize use of partnerships with the schools, but then also looking at, since they are doing all the surveys, how do we collect and understand that data? So it may not be exactly all of the information that we need, but it's at least we're trying to make strides for, and that was all led by the leadership of our youth and how that kind of came together.
Thank you. Thanks, Elizabeth. And I love the feedback, and I do think we need to continue to pull youth voice in. I also think about young leaders. You and I were just talking about that today, Richard, right? Making sure we're engaged with our young leaders in the community and involving them. Because the model of a community foundation is amazing, but not everybody understands endowment and investment and how that flourishes over time. So, yes, Kathy?
Somebody's back there.
Oh, just kidding. Thank you.
One of the things that I kind of thought about when we were talking about ways to get youth involved that wouldn't normally be involved, and I realize that this is the summer right now, so it's maybe not the best time for that, but as a former educator, if you offer a child, teen, what have you, a little bit of time away from school for that, they will sign up. Just something to consider. And honestly, outreach to like the schools, like do you have recommendations, people that wouldn't normally be tapped because you want to make sure that it's diverse voices, you may have to seek that out.
Super. Thank you for that insight and input, Kathy.
Having served on a committee for the Battle Creek Community Foundation, this might be an opportunity to get more volunteers, and that could be what you have them do, is to get out into the community and go to those planning, neighborhood planning meetings.
Be our champions?
Yeah, you've got the youth, you're asking the youth to participate. Maybe it's a way at one of the events that you sponsor is to ask for volunteers to do getting out into the community. You might find that they want to.
I kind of think that's really neat because I don't think anybody has a subcommittee of their board that goes out and represents like that and brings back information and shares it reciprocally. That's really interesting. I have to think on that. Thank you for that idea. Yes, Nico. Oh, sorry. Hang on, Nico. You're on deck. Okay.
I think that all of the ideas for the activities are great, but we're not hitting the people. I mean, unless I'm misunderstanding what the idea of the community voice is and what we're trying to pull from the community members, I think the power of speech goes a long way. So I don't think it should be put on one agency. That's where we all partnership and collaborate. I mean, you as just a community member in the grocery store, I mean, you could have the clammiest is not the word, but, you know, person who will never talk, who doesn't think that anybody is going to do anything for them. And you could meet them in the grocery line and they could talk just like that. You pull them into an event, good luck even trying to get them there. So I think, you know, even just as a normal citizen going to a little kid's football game or, you know, and just talking to people might be, I mean, I think that would be a really great place to start and spread the word. It doesn't necessarily have to be put on paper as an organization or whatever. You can do that later on if that's what's needed for red tape. But yeah, I think the most important part is to be able to speak and just build that relationship with the rest of the community members, especially the kids. If you want, I mean, you're going to get yours on TV. Language. If you want a real, truthful answer, your best bet is to talk to them. You put a paper survey in front of them, you're going to get a lot of sarcastic comments, or something that's not necessarily meaningful for them at the time.
Nico's over here shaking his head, yes. You understand. And so I would empower everyone in this room. You've just heard information from us and shared information with us. And to your point, you run into somebody at the supermarket tomorrow and they're like, hey, how was that event? I couldn't make it. Be our champion of sharing. Like, I hope that today was helpful, useful, and so everyone can share the message. But yes, so I hear that and organically, right? Nico, you had a hand up.
Yes, I'll say. So when it comes to like building community, especially like when it comes down to the youth, I feel like you need to go, on an individual level to kind of make people comfortable. I don't really know what the requirements it is to be in YAC, but I did have a lot of friends when I was in high school who were, and I think that within the requirements to be in YAC, one of the things with the application is like within each school district, if you could get like a couple people from each one to talk at an assembly or something, like when there's like a bunch of kids, when they're all, so they all know about it. Somebody who's trustworthy within that school district. Because, I mean, just from personal experience when I was in high school, it was like if an adult came and spoke to us about it, maybe my mind would wander a little bit more about it. But if somebody my age is telling me about it at an assembly, maybe a student representative or somebody who's like in the student government within the high school or something, or in the middle school or whatever it is, I think students would be willing to listen a little bit more. But I think the best way if you're trying to reach the youth who maybe their parents don't know much about the Battle Creek Community Foundation or anything, is if you talk to them at the school assemblies, they're going to go home, they're going to tell their parents, oh, we learned about like the Battle Creek Community Foundation. Their parents are going to be like, oh, what's the Battle Creek Community Foundation? Because, I mean, yeah, the best way to reach everybody is if you're in the school system at the assembly, you're reaching every kid there because they're all required to be there.
I'm going to disagree with you, Nico. The kids are not,
I'm disagreeing with you, Nico. The kids are not going to go tell their parents. They're going to talk to each other. Okay?
Yeah.
But I love the idea of youth are going to hear youth voice, right? More than adult. What was is it Snoopy? Wah, 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 right? When the mom's talking. Right? So I think youth will hear youth voice. I like that idea, and I looked back at Jennifer, who's sitting behind me, Jennifer Van Valkenburg, who's our leader in grants, and she oversees the folks that facilitate our YAC. So I think you were heard just now, and we might have an idea for YAC, so thank you for that. Because we have been puzzling on how to get the word into the schools deeper so that folks, everyone knows that they can apply, right? And how they get attached to the YAC. So duly noted, right, Jennifer? Duly noted that, yeah, we'll talk to the committee, the youth committee. Other questions, comments? Was this helpful? Yeah? Was this helpful? Yes? All right. Well, I do, one more time, say to you, if you saw someone tonight that you've never met before or have seen but don't know their name, please introduce yourself before you head out. But also, Danny's probably going to say, please take some food when you go. And those macaroons, by the way.
Please take some food, because they'll end up in the fridge, and staff love it, but it's for you.
Yeah. Thank you for your time tonight. We really appreciate you and everything you do to make Battle Creek amazing. Thank you so much.